everything was AI. I'm kidding, but I'm also not.
That's it. That's my intro.
Hey, I'm Amanda. I'm professionally curious and I talk for a living, and you're watching Swell Entertainment, the place where I talk about whatever I'm obsessed with that week to you. And for the first time since 2023, I have returned to CES. Now, I should note, I am only going to be covering the media days and the first show day of CES. Why? Because tomorrow, I have to drive back to LA so I can then fly to Mexico City, Mexico, because I am working with Mahindra for Formula E. Very exciting. You guys are gonna get a video for it. It's gonna be very exciting. Lots of content. I'm excited. But that also means that I have to leave CES early. So today was my only show day. I think I'm fine with doing this because I do think I saw enough to form my opinion. Even if I was here the full time, it would be impossible to see everything. But I did 22,000 steps today, hoofing it around the entire convention center, the Venetian, and I hit up the Aria the other day. So I think I've seen enough, but also there are trends that I see to this year compared to when I came last in 2023 that I do think are relevant and interesting, and also a shocking change that I am seeing that I want to note because, oh my God, is no one hiring salespeople anymore? My goodness. Okay, what is CES? CES is the Consumer Electronics Show. This is the largest consumer electronics show in the world. I get to come because I'm a YouTuber. This time they gave me a digital content creator badge. Previously, when I was here in 2023, I just had a media badge. I will say that this time around, there was way more digital content creators. So it also could be that whatever metric they were using in 2023, they have since changed. So a lot more people are being properly, credentialed as digital content creators and not media as I had been previously. Not that digital content creators aren't media, not what I'm saying, but I do think we serve a different purpose. And I think it's important to help these companies and products and startups, etc., know exactly what you are doing and what you are working with and things like that. I think it's just a good thing to be credentialed properly. Also, these mean I get in for free. Consumer Electronics Show, I don't know what the standard badge prices are. I'm not certain. But it starts out with Unveiled. So there's kind of like two media nights, and CES Unveiled is something that I really enjoyed last time I was here. CES Unveiled is an early night for media and creators to get access to a handful of the startups, companies, and also a lot of the innovative award winners from CES before the actual show opens to the public. It's very helpful for people that are on deadline. It's very helpful for someone like me to get a very clear, quick screenshot of a ton of different products and trends that are happening in the space for consumer electronics in one night when you are only going to be here for a couple of days. So obviously we only have a couple of hours, and this is also the only day for Unveiled, so I'm going to do my standard practice of starting from one end and just going up and down every single aisle. Obviously there is a lot of AI, understandably, with the current state of things. As you guys know, I don't like AI. And though I do think there are a lot of things in accessibility AI that I do think are very cool and innovative. Overall, though, I was not excited about most of what I saw at CES Unveiled, and frankly, most of what I saw for the rest of CES. It's an exceptional amount of AI, and everyone thinks they have the groundbreaking AI, and no one can tell you what they do differently than ChatGPT. If you get me into your booth by saying, "Hi, ladies," because they think that me and the woman in front of me, we must be here together. Do you ladies use ChatGPT and Gemini? No. If you do that, though, and I then come and I'm like, okay, well, what's your product? Okay, what is it? And you then tell me about your chatbot, and then I ask, how are you different than ChatGPT or Gemini? Because that's the example you gave me. And you're like, we're just different. We just are. I need you to go back to the drawing board. If you're going to bring up your competitors' names, or at least the most well-known versions of whatever an LLM that you're doing, you should be able to explain to me how you are different. Just saying, it's basic. Okay. I have been given a bag by one of the bird people. This is from BirdFi. They're launching an AI soon for their bird feeders. I'm telling you, the biggest innovations that I see at CES time and time and again that always stand out to me is the amount of innovation in bird feeders, bird feeder cameras,
Like, the birders eat really well at CES. You know what I'm saying?
I did a full Glasses Files write-up for CES Unveiled. It'll be linked down below if you would like to check that out for a couple of the products that like really caught my eye. Not a ton, and also not all the products that caught my eye for good reasons, but you know how it is. But there was a lot of AI, okay? And that's the thing, when everyone has AI, it just blurs together, you know? Like, no one's doing really anything seemingly groundbreaking, it seems. It's a lot of, we made this, but with an AI. And yet you can't tell me why that makes it better, aside from the fact that like an investor was like, what if there was an AI in it? You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, that's just what we're seeing a lot of. And that's what I felt there was a lot of at CES overall, but CES Unveiled in particular. Interesting trends that I saw. Unfortunately, there's a lot of toys targeting children that involve AI. We knew this was coming. There was a research paper done on like children's toys that had AI and like chatbots involved in them. And they were able to like the people that were testing it were able to break the parent locks very quickly. Like, we're able to get the chatbots to tell them as adults like how to make a fire and things like that. Wild. And when I was like, hey, can someone explain to me why a toy needs a chatbot? Some tech bro replied with, because Toy Story is cool. The whole point of Toy Story is that the kids don't know. In the movie, the kids don't know that the toys have a life of their own. It's called imagination. They still love them without Buzz actually talking to them. That's what are we talking about? Also, toys have always had toy boxes. Like, you can have a noise box in a toy. It doesn't need to be a chat bot. That's insane. Some were like a lot of like toys that were also like for adults, which I did find interesting, like leaning into the Labubu craze maybe. I don't know if some of these have existed longer, obviously. Also, this is something that I saw. It was called Tombot, I believe. But I did see this same like branding for this type of product around CES when I would see these in the startup pavilion, in particular, Eureka Hall, I believe it's called, at the Venetian. And it would be toys that are like AI pet stuffed animals or like AI pets that are for people and children that have allergies to pets, which is not unnew, I guess you could say, because like when I was a kid, I had a cat toy that like purred and hissed at my dad and, you know, like made sleeping noises whenever I pet it or something. Because my dad was allergic to cats. So like my parents just got me like that because they were like, this is fun. She'll stop asking us for a cat at this point. And so this is just a more sophisticated version of that. But I don't necessarily think it's like AI in the sense of we think of it as AI. It's just like sensors and things like that. And then it's like app related. You know what I'm saying? Fairly tame. I also do think there is a need for that. The same way I may not like looking at them, but I understand the need for like, say, like the real born dolls, the dolls that look like really, really realistic. Like babies. Like I understand the need for those. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's not for me. The other thing for some of these kids-based AIs though, I had multiple people tell me like as a selling point for their AI that like, oh yeah, and whatever your child tells it, it'll report back to you via the app. So like you will know what your child is telling the robot. They use the name of the product, obviously, because that's what every kid wants, like a diary or a toy that's also a snitch. Just, I thought that was odd. In the Glasses Files post I just wrote, it was like, I feel like we're just coming up with new ways to like parent our children from another room. You know what I'm saying?
Only at CES will they just hand you a bag of drugs. AI combo drugs, exactly what he called it.
The other thing, I only saw one at Unveiled, but then I saw, I think, another two more on the CES floor. Stringless guitars? It's very Guitar Hero, which not too against, you know. They were both very boring looking, which was fascinating to me. I didn't get to play with the one at Unveiled. I did get to play with the one on the floor today. And that one was sound, like the chord progressions, all of that, it was operating very well, based off the fact that I haven't picked up my guitar in like a decade. But like the other one I couldn't really tell because of how loud Unveiled was. But they both look boring. I want fun tech. Why are you guys allergic to color? Is pigment in your plastic? You're all making it out of plastic. So like if you're gonna make it out of plastic, let's just add some dye in there. Let's make it green. What about like a bright blue? Something fun. 8-Bit had a couple of things. I think it was Rode. Rode looked like they were launching a couple of colorful stuff because there was a creator like lounge space. I didn't stick around here. Lowe's has a creator program. Interesting. I know they pay out a lot of money to people here on YouTube shopping, but I had no idea they had a whole creator program. That's kind of cool. Probably fun for like a lot of DIY creators, like builder creators, maker creators. That's probably fun. But one thing at CES, I made a video on TikTok and I feel very strongly about this. Tech companies, I'm gonna hold your hand. I'm gonna hold your hand while I tell you this. You need to be sending your strongest extroverts to expos. Everyone should know your product. Everyone that you send to an event should be able to explain your product, your company, whatever, okay? Basic talking points. There should never be an instance where I ask a fairly basic question, like when is it going to market, or how much is it on the consumer level, and it is already available, and the person there can't give me that number. There's also no reason that at a media night, I can walk up to your booth, look at your product, maybe grab a brochure, smile and nod to someone, and no one offers to explain anything about the product. Or I walk up, look, and then kind of walk away while passing two of your people because they're standing in front of your booth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw this again and again. Forget even just with me, I witnessed this with other people. People with like whole camera rigs and things like that were just not filming but primed to film. You know what I'm saying? And this is media night. Like, this is your first impression. I saw videos from things at like CES Unveiled previously, and I would like go and seek that booth out, you know, at CES. Like, this is a good like, oh, be sure to find our booth here, things like that. Like, these are early write-ups. You could get like the feature, you could get like focus, and yet, the extroverts, not with your, is no one hiring salespeople? Do you guys hire salespeople anymore? I know the job market's awful, and I know you guys think you can use AI for everything, you know, for every like interpersonal communication, outward facing job that's not like tech, you know what I'm saying? There are certain times in recent months where like there's an experience I have and I'm like, oh, I have job security. YouTube can go to it tomorrow. I'll be fine because I can talk to strangers. And I'm learning increasingly that that is not something a lot of people can do. I will always have a job in sales. I will figure it out. Hi. Oh my God, I see you looking. All right, you are with, oh, LA. I see, we're based in LA. Yeah. Have you heard about Blank before? No? Okay, so we are a AI slop-based company. You get my point. This is basic. It's not even like a small talk thing. You should be sending people to these events. I'm thinking product people, B team, behind the table, okay? They're the person that as soon as I grab someone, okay, to be like, oh my God, you're with someone, have you checked out our product yet? No? You gotta come see this. It's so sick. Come here. And I start doing the spiel, and then they jump in with the specs. This was very, very infrequently happening at CES Unveiled. I was shocked. Now, not everyone. Some people were locked in, okay? But a lot of people, not. And some people, I get it, because some people will be like, oh yeah, they hear a basic thing and they walk away. I heard multiple people be like, oh, this isn't my scope or this isn't my field, you know, type of thing. So they would like walk away. You just got to get people comfortable. There's such growth drivers, conventions, expos. There are international attendees here, international publications, creators with millions of followers between them. Not me, but you get my point. You know, like, let's not waste this opportunity by only sending the introverts. Then on Monday, I just went over, everything was like kind of closed. It was a lot of the programming, conference schedule, it's more media stuff. It's all the talks. On Monday, I just spent the time at the Aria to go, because that was the only thing that was like really had programming that I liked. It was a lot of the creator track. There was a creator and sports track. I was looking at a couple of things on the sports track, nothing that I could get to today easily, so I was just sticking around the creator track. But yesterday at Monday, not the main expo floor and all that was not open, so I just went to the Aria here in Vegas so that I could go to the C space, as they called it, and see like the creator stage talks that they were doing. There was a couple of different booths already in there that were open-ish, but I was there for the talks. Big space, pretty good audio as well. I do think that last time I was here, this stage was smaller, so I do like that this is a bigger stage this time around. Again, this was 2023, so this is bits off. That being said, there was one creator economy panel. Call me annoying. I think you should have a creator on your creator economy panel. Just one. That's I just think that like baseline. Also, every single person on that panel used Mr. Beast as at least one of their examples for a creator. You guys gotta, there's more. Like there's more. But I just think if you're gonna do a creator economy panel, you should have one. The second panel was like about Gen Z consumer habits, and literally everyone on that panel was Gen Z in various fields, which I do think was very good and worked very well, and they were all it seemed friends and were at least, you know, yapping and things like that. My friend Chloe Shi, great creator, was on a panel that same day as well about, you know, brands working with creators and like how brands like superpowers can be creators and like leveraging that partnership and things like that. And Jazz was also on that panel, and that was a good mix because it was 2 creators and then 2 people from the brand side. And I do think that that is a good mix and is more helpful to the audience in this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, to the people that could be watching and gathering information from this, these conversations where it is a mix of like the creators and the brand side of things. That's one of the reasons I really liked a lot of the talks that I went to at Cannes Lions at, say, the MasterCard Villa. I bring them up a lot, I feel like. From the Lions creators track, like it was a lot of that I think worked out really well. I walked around a little bit. I got this guy from the Weather Channel because the Weather Channel was there. I won this. It's a storm cloud. His name is Nimbus, after cumulonimbus, obviously. Walked around a little bit, nothing too crazy, and then I was like, let's go to bed early so I can lock in today. And I just hit the ground running. I attacked that convention center. I was locked in. All right, I just got through the gate. I am in front of Central Hall. South Hall is that way. Security is taking 9,000 years for some people because their sensors are being weird. Got the food trucks over there. None of the halls should be open, I think, but I'm gonna go in and see what the deal is, see the crowd situation. Saw a bit of South Hall, nothing crazy, you know, mostly did a good chunk of Central, North, and West Hall. Tried to spend a lot of time in West Hall just because there was a lot of car stuff based in there. It is broken down by various things. Central had a lot of the gaming cameras. North was a lot of health, AI, robots. Oh! Hey, I don't know if you know this. A lot of companies use robots to sell their not robot companies.
Some of these booths have nothing to do with these robots. They're just there to get you in the booth. Like, at CES, the true booth babe is a little robot guy.
They have a robot in their booth with like their logo on it, even though it's all the same robot. It's like that little handle in the back robot. I don't know what company it's from. It freaks me out. It's like just shorter enough than me that it like makes me think of like a tall child. It's very odd. They all have that, and then they like put their hat on it or like their sticker across. It's like, I don't want to say chest. That sounds weird. Their body cavity. They use that to like get you to their booth because they know that people like to film a robot doing a squat or something, and then their logo is there. But the West Hall had a lot of the car companies. And again, nothing super exciting. Like across the board, nothing was super exciting here. To the point that I was like, God, I'm kind of glad I only have one day because I'm like not letting myself get like too invested in seeing everything. Whereas that's what I try to do in 2023. I try to see as much as possible. Whereas today I was trying to like, let's cover as much ground as possible so I can see as much as possible. But I knew I wasn't gonna possibly be able to see everything. But I feel like if I was here the whole time and I just kept looking for something to get me excited, I'd be more irritated by the end of it. So far, I admit, across the board, nothing's been really getting me excited here. I don't know. I feel like last time there was a couple of things where I was like, oh, that's cool. But this time it just seems like, again, regurgitating, reinventing the wheel again and again and again. So we'll see. I had a lot more enjoyment for myself out of the startup space at Venetian last year. So once I'm done with this area, I will be heading that way. I should have gone back to South, spent more time in South, but it was so crazy getting in there at the jump. Like I literally was here when they let us all in. I didn't see nearly as much South Hall as I saw of the rest, so I should make that note. Maybe saw like an eighth of it, if that. From the West Hall, I took a taxi over to the Venetian Expo really fast, $10. It was fine. And the Venetian Expo I was excited for because that was one of the spots that I got the most out of for Swell Entertainment, in my opinion, for 2023, just because that is where a lot of the startups are and where a lot of the international pavilions are, like Korea, France, Italy, etc. All right, this is my favorite spot. Last time, Eureka Park, where all the startups are. Once again, it was a lot of AI. It's just like when everything is exactly the same. It doesn't feel innovative. It feels like exactly the same thing. And like I can't escape it. You know what I'm saying? There was a few things that I got excited about, but like less so than, you know, previous years. But overall, I would say like still like the things that were like, oh, that's cool. Like me pausing and like wanting to like go to the booth. A lot of that was at the Venetian in Eureka Hall Eureka Hall. And then above that was like sports, fitness, digital health, things like that. Again, a lot of AI, but a lot more investments in wearables. I'm seeing across the board, like trends in wearables. Oh, a trend that I saw at Unveiled as well that I don't think I wrote about at all in the Glasses Files post, but I saw this as well today. Very big push in wearables that are like augmented for you as a human. I don't know what you would call this, but it's like a harness that goes around your waist that like is like a hinge for your hip, and it's like mobility aids. Some were for like recovery or for people that were trying to, you know, go through rehab, things like that. But a lot of times it was just like, yeah, you want to hike better, which I found interesting. It was a shocking number of those, which I don't know if that's because we're seeing a bigger rise in that because humans, especially here in the United States, we've become so sedentary. And so we are seeing a rise in need for those. I can't remember if that was a big push in 2023 as well. I'd be curious if anyone who has been to CES in the last couple of years, when I have not been here, if you've noticed a similar trend going up. The other thing that I thought was interesting, multiple tennis-based AI robots. I was wondering if it's because it is a very clear-cut like numbers game where it's like you've got one or two people. It's a lot of them were advertising like you can work on your swing and your game with this robot versus like playing with another person. There was one that was also a basketball one, which for like shots and things like that, which I thought was interesting, but most of the time it was tennis-based. So I'm very curious if we're seeing big tennis make a big push, and this is finally them fighting back against big pickleball. I don't know, but I thought it was interesting. Lots of wearables. Everyone has a ring, like a tech ring. Everyone's got a glasses, camera in the glasses. Lots of, you know, transcribing in the glasses and things like that. Oh, one that I did see that I was like, oh, that's cool. A like onboard computer that can work on any diving goggles for divers. Completely waterproof, and it's basically like an onboard camera, and also can apparently help you communicate with the rest of the people in your diving party, which I did think was cool. I am curious about anyone that does actually do scuba diving, if this would be helpful for you. The same way that there was one accessibility product at Unveiled that I was not able to find again on the floor. I'm sure it was somewhere, I just couldn't find it. It was called Mnemonic Dot, I believe it was called. It was a label printer that printed labels in Braille. Okay. And on one of the materials, it was literally metal, like a metal label maker, so that it could like withstand elements and like repeated use and things like that. And to me, I'm like, that's so sick. Okay. But I have glasses, but I can see, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, there's certain times where like, I think something is really cool for accessibility, but because I don't have that disability, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm seeing it from like an able person's view. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm putting my foot in my mouth or not, you know, but like there was a couple of products like that, and a lot of the accessibility tech. And like, there was a lot of people that I saw that were like using their walking sticks and things like that in these areas. So I'm like, okay, cool. So there are people that do have these disabilities that are like talking with these companies. So that is really cool to see. I really don't know if I'm explaining this well at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause there's some things where I'm like, oh, that's cool. But then like someone's like, yeah, no, that's not usable for me. That's to help you deal with me more. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm explaining this well at all. I thought the dot thing was cool. I thought the Braille label maker was cool. It's a lot of money. I believe they said that it was the current one on market that they had was $1,300-ish. They're trying to get it under $1,000, but it is still a lot of money. But unfortunately, I do see that a lot in accessibility, like aids and tech, is that the starting point is usually so expensive because they think there's less of a market for it. But I did like seeing a lot of the innovations that I was seeing, especially in Eureka Hall. There was a whole section that was specifically focusing on accessibility innovation. Like it was like a whole little round table thing. But I did think that was cool, at least just for the highlighting of it. You know what I'm saying? Because like, I do think that's where a lot of innovation we are seeing again and again and again. And if we could get it to a more affordable price point, that would be great. If I were to stay here for more days, I probably would have spent more time at the Venetian just so I could go through more. It was interesting because the amount of people that were like down in Eureka Hall did not realize that Hall D was like above them and like had like a whole nother spot for it, which is crazy because a lot of the tech pavilions down, Korea brought a lot of startups. They had a massive chunk of Eureka Hall. And then upstairs in Hall D, they also had another massive pavilion. A couple of countries did. But I just thought like that was massive for Korea, which I thought was interesting. Also, I get it. We're in the tech space. I still think if you use AI art, I don't care if you have an AI company, unless you are making an AI art making thing, your booth design should not be AI. It looks shitty. It looks sloppy. It looks bad. People can tell. It looks crazy. It looks cheap. It looks like you don't believe in your product. It looks like you don't have money. A bunch of the lots of toilet tech, AI toilet tracker things. Interesting. Some of the health AI tech things, we're getting close to Theranos, you know, we're getting into Theranos territory. Unfortunately, a lot of like health related AI tech startups that I was seeing and like, oh, we have this app, we do this, da da da. I'm like, okay, I get healthcare is like really expensive, but like I feel like we're just trying to give people excuses to not go see a doctor. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, that can lead to like things not being caught in time. I know it's difficult to talk about this one at a time where a lot of people are unfortunately having to lose their healthcare because of rising costs and things like that. But I do think that two things can be true. That can be tragic. And we shouldn't be having products that are encouraging you to not seek out medical attention or to put off seeking medical attention. You get my point? Overall, I don't know. I guess I'm just a tough cookie right now. It takes a lot for an AI to impress me. And unfortunately, there was a lot of AI. There was a couple of different like Kickstarter-based startups and companies that I saw and products that I saw that were like, oh, we've been on Kickstarter. We're going to get on Kickstarter. We're just trying to get some like input and things like that. Some of those I thought were cool. But yeah, just everything just kind of got drowned in AI. That's it. That's kind of the whole video. Are you at CES this year? One day I will fully go to CES, I guess, because even last time I was here, I split my time between CES and AVN Expo. So one day CES will get my full attention, I'm sure. Was there anything at CES that you were like, wait, this was actually really cool? Or anything that you would like to see? Are you noticing any trends in any other expos or conferences where people cannot communicate about their product or their business? Let me know. Comment down below. Reminder, I stream on Twitch. My Swell Entertainment is now available on Spotify. Reminder, check out Girly Pop Go for like some more car and motorsport content. Shout out to my channel members. Thank you so much for joining me on channel memberships. If you'd like to show me on channel memberships, you can go ahead and join down below. If you'd like to me on social media, that'll be all up here. And that's me. Have a lovely day. Goodbye. I'm going to pack and then I'm going to pass out and get ready for a 4-hour drive home tomorrow. It's going to be amazing.